The U.S. under-17s took to the field Wednesday against France to open the competition. The game featured some ups and downs, but in the end, the Yanks bounced back with a late equalizer from Wesley Wade. Now the focus turns to Turkey, the winners of the 2010 edition of this tournament. It's the Nike International Friendlies, next on Fox Soccer. From the Sunshine State of Florida, our coverage of the Nike International Friendlies rolls on. It's the U.S. taking on Turkey. Alongside former U.S. national team center back Jimmy Conrad, my name is Mark Rogandino. Happy to welcome you here to the premier sports campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. All right, Jimmy, we saw the U.S. eke out a 2-2 draw with France a couple of nights ago. What do you expect to see here tonight?
Well, I thought for the first 25, 30 minutes, it was all U.S. They really gave us a glimpse of what they're capable of. They had great team shape, got a lot of good team pressure, and that led to the great first goal by DeAndre Robinson. But I want to see more of that. I want to see them do that for a half or 60 minutes and be able to solve problems on the field. If they do that, then I think they could have a chance of winning this tournament.
For those of you that did not see it, let's take a look at the highlights from the other night. And about the midway point of the first half, as Jimmy just mentioned, DeAndre Robinson with a cracking goal in the upper corner to give the U.S. a lead. But then Michel Aray, just 2 minutes before halftime, brings France level at 1-1. Into the second half we go. Tyler Turner, unfortunate touch. An own goal gives France the lead. But then the late heroics here from Wesley Wade as he buries it in the lower corner. And 2-2 is your final score. So both teams, they say, having a point in that one. We turn the attention now to Turkey. This is a team that lost 1-0 to Brazil to open the Nike International Friendlies. What do you expect from this club?
Well, it's an unfortunate task to draw Brazil in the first game, but they did well. They were busy. They kept Brazil active and having to work defensively, but they don't really have anything to show for it. And I think we're going to see a better display from them in this game.
Officially just one shot on goal for Turkey, and in fact in the 61st minute they gave up the lone goal of the game. So Brazil, with that win over Turkey, they drew 1-1 earlier today against France, and that sets up a crucial second game for both the U.S. and Turkey as they'll get set to meet in just a couple of minutes. We turn the focus back to this U.S. team, and let's talk about Herbert Flores. He seems to be the catalyst for this team going forward.
Well, anything that happens in a positive fashion for the U.S. goes through this guy. He gets all the forwards involved. He always makes good decisions on the ball. And if they're going to have a chance, like I said earlier, of winning this tournament, he's going to be the reason why.
As Wilmer Cabrera will tell you, the head coach of the U.S., he is a true number 10. The red and white facing Turkey for the second consecutive year. When we come back, we'll bring you the lineups and the first half kick. Campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. U.S. getting set to kick off against Turkey. They were the 2010 winners of the Nike International Friendlies. Jimmy Conrad, Mark Rogandino back with you. Let's look at Wilmer Cabrera's starting 11. A couple of changes here, Jimmy.
I didn't make 5 total changes overall. Maybe we're going to take a look at Turkey. And for me, the captain, Yaja, is the guy. He snuffed out a lot of Brazilian attacks, and I think he's going to have to be a guy to go through that the U.S. is going to have to get through to get past. Here we look at the U.S. I love that he kept the same back four. They really need to continue to build a rapport and build a trust, and I'm glad he did that. But the 2 forwards have to come in. So here, take again another look. We got Yaja in the back, like I said, but Sahin, number 18, he's the guy that pulls the strings. He's their Herbert Flores, if you will, Mark. And I think he's going to have a pretty big influence on how this attack goes for Turkey.
Yeah, Sahin is one of several players for Turkey that plays for Bukaşspor. There's Wilmer Cabrera. Been in charge since October of 2007, so just over 4 years. On the other side, you have Mehmet Hajiolo in charge of the Turkish side. Remember, they're coming off of a 1-0 loss against Brazil back on Wednesday afternoon, leading into the game between the U.S. and France. Set to kick this one off, and we are underway on the main pitch here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, at the Premier Sports Campus. Happy to have you along. And I mentioned it in our opening segment. The earlier result between France and Brazil was a 1-1 draw, and actually plays very favorably, Jimmy, for the U.S. because you could say they're in control of their destiny if they can take care of business here, heading toward that third and final game against Brazil.
Well, they still have some work to do. Turkey is the reigning champion, so this isn't going to be a walkover for them by any stretch. But, you know, they're going to, I think they have the team to do it. They, like I said, they played a good first 25, 30 minutes. If they come out with the same intensity, same attitude, then they're going to find themselves on top of this game.
Both teams have made some changes to their starting 11 lineups, but one thing that has not changed is the wind. In fact, it's a little heavier today, but the conditions are warmer. The wind at the back of the U.S. to begin here as they attack from left to right across your screen in the all-white kits here in the first half. Turkey in all red from head to toe with white trim. Defend the goal to Jimmy and my right.
Take a look. Good touch here by Rubio Rubin. Gets himself in a good position, draws a good foul. U.S. is dangerous on set pieces. And this guy, my man, Herbert Flores, is on the ball.
Sets up, in essence, a short corner here for the U.S. to begin the first half as we're just underway. Lining up some numbers, near post ball. Initial ball is actually easily handed by the Turkish defense. Clearance out towards midfield and a foot race to get to it. Anil Çapkun arriving at the same time as Tyler Turner to push that ball away. Danya Kafai trying to hold on to the possession there for the U.S. Shaquille Moore will step up to put in the throw. Corey Baird, our first look at him. He'll combine up top with Kafai, so both of the goal scorers from the game against France on the bench to begin here for Wilmer Cabrera.
And that's just immediately going to change the rhythm and complexion of the U.S. team. So it's going to be interesting to see how those two forwards integrate themselves, get involved, how they work off each other. Think of any knock that I had on the two goal scorers from last game. They didn't really combine with each other, DeAndre Robinson, Wesley Wade.
Great point.
And Herbert Flores got them involved, but they never really looked to play to each other. So it'll be interesting to see how these two forwards stack up.
Yildiz will try and work out from the back here for Turkey. There is Flores, the player that we highlighted to open the broadcast. And specifically, I know you said if he plays well, the U.S. has a good chance to maybe even come away as winners of this tournament. But what are some of the intricate details that you like from his game?
Oh, he always makes the right pass. You know, usually when you're on the ball, you have 2 or 3 different options, and he chooses the right one more often than not. And that puts the U.S. in good positions. He also picks up the ball when he's facing the defense. He tries not to play back to goal. That allows him to go forward and create space for other guys. And he wants the ball. There's a lot of kids still, even guys that I used to play with for a long time, that don't really want the ball in tight spaces. He wants it. He wants to be the guy that makes the final pass, and he's the reason he's the number 10.
Baird trying to use the overlapping run from the right back, Shaquille Moore. And out for a deep throw here for the U.S. Back through Rubio Rubin. Calix, another one of the changes for Wilmer Cabrera. No changes across the back four, as Jimmy highlighted, but a couple changes in the midfield. The two strikers changing up top, and the other change, Evan Laro getting the opportunity to start in goal. And Laro comes in to replace Paul Christensen. Baird trying to chase this one down, but wind aided, if you will, as that one rolls out across the end line and a goal kick for Turkey.
But right away, you can tell that Turkey's sitting back, letting the U.S. come, take the space, maybe looking to counter here initially, just to kind of see how the first 20-25 minutes go, take their chances. But very conservative approach from Turkey, and we'll see how it plays out. They clearly saw the U.S. play. They scouted them. I thought the outside backs, John Requejo and Shaquille Moore, did a lot of the damage against France. I think right now you're seeing evidence of Turkey realizing that, putting some of their guys wide to take that space away from the U.S.
Well, Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong. You would think that that would probably be a characteristic that would indicate if the U.S. is playing well or not, if those outside backs do get the opportunities to go forward.
And they have to pick their spots. I mean, I pumped those guys up in game 1 against France, but U.S. did get countered quite a bit against the French, and so they have to be wise in when they go and when they don't. And if John Requejo does go forward, Shaquille Moore's got to stay and be pinched in and be disciplined. So I'm sure that's something the coaches talked about, and I think we'll see evidence of that later in the game.
Free kick opportunity here for Turkey. Anil Çapkun, product of FC Köln over in Germany, will drive this ball into the heart of the 18. Back post headed away by the U.S. Follow-up chance comes off of the left foot of Öztürk. And not even close to Evan Laro and the goal. Really in contrast to what we saw against France, who seemed to do a little more high pressuring. It looks like the U.S. are going to have some chances to play out from the back, which is, we heard from Wilmer Cabrera, Jimmy, is something he really likes to see from his team.
Well, I think that's a mandate from head coach Jurgen Klinsmann of the full team. They want defenders that can play out of difficult situations. We can't just lump the ball and hope for the best, have a Brian McBride or a Brian Ching or Josie Altidore up there fighting with the center backs all the time. We want to be able to play and create space, and that starts with good passing out of the back.
The days of that 1 against 3 up top on a long ball forward for a target may be coming to an end.
Well, we don't have Brian McBride in our system right now.
True.
So until we find somebody like him, and I don't know if we'll ever find somebody like Brian McBride, we're going to have to find different ways to get the ball in the back of the net.
High pressure there from Jorge Calix out of Alexandria, Virginia. First appearance for Calix of the Nike International Friendlies. Did not see an appearance against France. Here is Calix on the ball, trying to cut it back onto his right foot, knocked out for a throw here for the U.S. I mentioned Turkey, winners of this competition, going unbeaten with 2 wins and a draw, 7 points total. A year ago, as we were out at Reach 11 complex in the Arizona desert, and included in those 2 wins was wrapping up the tournament with a 2-0 win over Wilmer Cabrera's under-17 U.S. team. Echeverria brings it down here for the U.S. He'll sit in that middle spot in place of Guy Kabala, who's not in the lineup to start here tonight. Öztürk trying to spark the attack from the central part of the field. Nobody there for Turkey. Turnover in the midfield. The U.S. give it right back, though. Here comes Turkey. First time they've made their way to this part of the field. Connor Donovan chases things down. He's able to even keep it in on the far side sideline, and then earns the U.S. a throw. Good work from the young defender.
A great play by Connor Donovan. Held his space, waited to see what Kosu was going to do. Kosu, though, I thought had a wide open Altintash right in the middle. I think that pass would have killed the U.S., so good decision to force him wide, and good play to get the throw in. I'm a bit surprised by Turkey's tactics so far, just the way they've set up. They seem to be doing a lot of countering, getting in at least defensively in terms of trying to negate the outside backs and all the success they had against France for the U.S. And also trying to surround Herbert Flores, not letting him get touches on the ball. Right now we're 8 minutes into the game, and Herbert Flores has maybe touched it once or twice in a meaningful position on the field. So I like what Turkey's doing defensively, but I just don't know if it's going to generate a lot of offense.
Well, similar to the U.S. coaching staff showing up a little early to watch Brazil today, you would imagine that there was probably a couple of the Turkish coaches that hung around to watch the U.S. against France, and they know what Flores can bring to the table. Altintash picks up the turnover. Moore didn't come away with a clean pass. And again, there's Connor Donovan slipping in underneath to win it back for the U.S. Turner. There's Flores. Cheeky little touch to spring it forward now for the U.S. Rubin wide here for Moore. Echeverria. Good sequence here from the red, white, and blue all the way out wide. Ball will stay in, pushing forward. There's Riquelme Jr. Entry ball intended for Baird. Pushed away, though, by Turkey. Still alive for the U.S. Calix. Probably about 11, 12 touches now for the U.S. Good early indication that the confidence is high from Wilmer Cabrera's boys.
It's unfortunate they couldn't make more of it. Now they're back with our center backs again, just playing it. Haven't really shifted any Turkish defenders. And now what's been happening is we've been coughing up the ball in bad spots, and that's where Turkey's been generating their attacks. But I do like the patience. If it's not on, keep it. Make them continue to work. They're going to get tired. And right now, I'm pretty pleased with how the U.S. is being patient with the ball, my friend.
Riquelme Jr. cutting inside, showing some patience. Echeverria looking for the big switch out wide here for Moore. Moore finally decides to take the direct route, looking forward up the right side for Kafai. And that's where the U.S. finally turns it over. U.S. Pinching in to try and play some high pressure in Turkey's defensive third.
Take a look there, Shaquille Moore. I don't think he saw Ozturk there. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but definitely a easy foul for the referee to call.
Well, first time tonight I have the chance to introduce Alan Chapman, our head referee for the match here tonight. He's joined by Rob Huffam and Rom Rodriguez. Terry Vaughn, the fourth official here tonight at the Premier Sports Campus. There is Alan Chapman. Always a good thing when it takes you at least 10+ minutes to get into the first half and you don't have to mention the ref. Flores on the ball, leading the counter. Nice cut move, has some help out wide, and he sends it that way for Rubio Rubin. But a hard tackle there from Mahmutan Ajar to push it back for Turkey.
Great play by the U.S., but good solid tackle by Ajar. Those are the ones you lick your chops, a pass. Maybe you didn't get out exactly where the attackers wanted it to. You can get the ball and the defender. Here, take a look. Herbert Flores. Good idea wide, but Ajar, good timing. Rubio Rubin, unfortunately, on the bad end of that. You don't necessarily want to get a turf on your chin, but that's all part and parcel of the game, my friend.
If that ball actually has a little more energy behind it, it's probably a chance for Rubin to get in 1-versus-1 against the goalkeeper, Mehmet Bakirbaş. Baird, well-timed run and a good first touch. Couldn't bring it down on the second touch, though. High pressure from the U.S., and that will give Turkey a goal kick from their own end. Corey Baird, out of Escondido, California. Playing for the San Diego Surf down there. Came in as a substitute late in the second half. Was actually part of that sequence around the goal that led to Wesley Wade's late equalizer against France.
He actually came in as a left-sided midfielder.
Right.
And just shows his versatility.
Turkey pushing forward. Evan Laro, I don't think he was sure, but he probably could have picked that up. Elected to use his feet, though, and was able to clear it out. Cahill Jr. pushes it forward here for Baird. Back inside. Kafai will dump it off for Flores. His first touch into the feet of Rubio Rubin. U.S. very good start here tonight. Just can't find that final pass, Jimmy, to get it in behind the back four.
They're close. They're knocking on the door. That's a good sign. But I think part of the issue, and I'm actually happy that Kafai got to touch the ball. We're 13 minutes into the game, and that's his first real touch. The unintended side effect, or maybe it is the intended side effect by the Turks, but it's hard for the forwards to find space when Turkey's dropping back and creating and blocking all the passing lanes. So that's going to be something that the U.S. is going to have to figure out. They're going to have to counter that. Maybe hit a few balls over the top, spread out, get some space, and obviously always try to find Herbert Flores the ball.
I mean, legitimately, Jimmy, you could say that they have 6 defenders sitting on the back there. They're the back 4, but then in the lineup, you could see it in the formation. They hold 2 defensive center mids.
And they're trying to surround Flores, of course, and they're just trying to make it difficult to find the forwards. Right now, Kafai and Baird haven't really gotten involved into the flow, but the U.S. has a lot of possession. So they just have to figure a way to get those guys incorporated into the attack. It's going to happen sooner rather than later. As for Turkey, they need to keep the ball. I mean, they've maybe had 2-3 passes. They're trying to take advantage and capitalize on the U.S. mistakes. But they need to find their own rhythm in the game, and right now, it's a bit disjointed.
Connor Donovan. Excellent weighted ball up and over the top there for Baird. Works hard to get it back here for the U.S. Tight space there. Ball somehow stays in. Last touch by the U.S. and out for a throw here for Turkey. If you're Flores, and he's a young player, I know, but sensing that Turkey is trying to so-called box him in to limit his touches, what does he need to do to find the space?
He's just got to maybe drop a little bit deeper. I hate saying that because I don't want to see our playmaker that far away from the goal. But if the U.S. wants to have success, he's got to stay linked up to the forwards. He's just got to find little passing lanes to make it happen. Right now, I think his influence has been good. He's been involved. And so right now, I'm more worried about the forwards from a U.S. perspective. But for Turkey's done a good job defensively. Just on the offensive side, they need to find more passes, more combinations together. Baird
with some good skill there to try and create the opportunity. And there is Herbert Flores out of Manassas Park, Virginia. No question he's a crafty part of the attack for the U.S. Baird back to goal, looking for the overlapping run of Flores. Comes back here for more. And he'll release it away from pressure all the way back here for Connor Donovan. Heavy first touch. Almost gave Turkey the attacking counter.
Bit of a heavy touch from Connor Donovan. Comes right through a bingo. I actually think I got red carded in the game. I shouldn't say think. I know I got red carded in the game doing that against Pete Vianis a long, long time ago when I used to play Mark.
I was going to say, usually when you get red carded, you pretty much know it, right? There's no gray area there. It's either black or white. You're either red carded or not.
Well, I tried to make it gray so that I could stand there and argue with the referee for as many minutes as I was allowed. But I had an early shower, and my team ended up losing 4-1. Yeah, I've got it stuck right in my brain. Hasn't gone away. I'm still bitter.
Can't tell. Just past the opening quarter of an hour in this one. U.S. and Turkey, 0-0 so far. Back pressing there, Steven Echeverria to come and help the U.S. win the ball back. Foot race here, but Kafai is not going to win it as Yaja, the captain, had the inside step to get to it for Turkey.
I like the captain of Turkey a lot. Yaja reads the game very, very well. Snuffed out Brazilian attack after Brazilian attack. It's going to be a tough guy that the U.S. is going to have to figure out a way to get him out of position, get him out of space, take advantage of the space that he's left. So it's a tall order for the forwards. I mean, they're coming in cold. They didn't get to play last game. I mean, Bard got to play there at the end. To just get involved with the attack and figure out how it's going to be, because it's a different game. It's a different complexion to it. The France game was fast. A lot of things were happening, 100 miles an hour. And here there's a little bit more of a ebb and flow to it. So it's going to be interesting to see how the U.S. figures it out.
Kafai working himself to the end line and will earn the red, white, and blue their first corner of the night. Daniel Kafai out of Redwood City, California. One of the team leaders, actually, and he was one of the starters when the team was over in Europe, in Spain and France, but through the good play of Wesley Wade and Robinson, as this one is headed by, and a slight touch puts it into the back of the net. The U.S. on the board once again. It was an own goal that almost proved terrible for the U.S., but tonight it's a positive touch for Tyler Turner.
Good awareness, great ball by Herbert Flores. Way to get up by Tyler Turner. And Rubio Rubin does just enough to put up the Turkish goalkeeper.
Did he touch it?
Here.
No.
He didn't touch it, but he did just enough. Just a little flick of the body. Maybe he tried to touch it, maybe he didn't, but a great goal. And let's be honest, the U.S. should be up 1-0 right now. They've had good chances. They've had a lot of the possession. They're the deserved leaders of this game.
Tyler Turner officially his first goal of the tournament. As I mentioned, it was an own goal in the second half against France.
Those count too. No.
Do you have any of those?
Unfortunately. I don't know why you keep bringing up these memories. Trying to forget all that stuff.
Yeah, perfect. Come on, Steve. Slide over here.
Flores well positioned and plenty of real estate in front of him to attack for the U.S. Lets it fly with the right foot. Lakirbash secures it in goal.
We saw this last game against France. Once the U.S. scored, they had 2 or 3 other opportunities. We're going to see it here now with Turkey. They look a little bit vulnerable. Can the U.S. take advantage of that and score another goal? They hit the crossbar for Shaquille Moore against France. Here, let's take a look here at Herbert Flores. Good technique. Just not enough. Didn't pick a corner. Good simple save for Bakirbash. But this is the time. Can the U.S. in this vulnerability from Turkey, and we saw it with France as well, really take advantage of this game and take control? Can they score that second goal and finish them off? And I mean, finish them off might be a bit strong, but you really put them on their back foot.
Chapkun trying to send it forward. Little exchange there as Ozturk sends it toward the space. Requejo Jr., great recovery from the left back. See the composure and the confidence there from Connor Donovan. at the center back spot, stepping on it, letting the opposing forward slide right by. He does it again here. Switches it out to the game's lone goal scorer, Tyler Turner.
Be interesting to see what Turkey does now. Now that they're down, they have to change their formation a little bit. Right now, sitting back and hoping for the U.S. to make mistakes clearly didn't do enough. And now their forward's going to have to get high. They're going to have to push a little bit. It's going to create some more space for the U.S. that the U.S. can exploit. But from Turkey, they need to start pushing a little bit forward. They can't just sit back and wait for the game to happen.
First time we'll call Ismail Kosa's name tonight. Oldest player on the roster here for Turkey. And when we watched a couple of moments of that game against Brazil back on Wednesday, he seemed to be a player that was getting a lot of attacking chances, or I should say most of the attacking chances for Turkey on the afternoon.
And the stats lie a little bit. And I know the adage is that stats don't lie, but Turkey was in that game. They were involved with Brazil. They had a lot of good opportunities. They were in and around Brazil's box, but only one shot on goal. Just means they weren't firing on target.
They did have, I think, overall a total of 4 shots, period, but the lone shot on goal, forcing the Brazilian goalkeeper Guilherme to come up with a save. Moore under some pressure there from Kosa, and wisely plays it back for Connor Donovan. Tight space. See if the U.S. can work themselves out of it here right in front of the Turkish bench. And Shaquille Moore earns the whistle and a free kick.
Great play by Shaquille Moore. Connor Donovan gives him a tough ball under pressure. Holds off 2 guys, draws a foul. Quite impressive for the young man.
Turkey picking up the possession in the middle part of the field. A reminder for you, international friendly comes your way 6:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, live on Fox Soccer, as the LA Galaxy continue their Asian tour. They're taking on the Philippines national team. MLS Cup champions, the Galaxy, against the Philippines national team, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow on Fox Soccer. There is Tyler Turner, the goal scorer here. Wilmer Cabrera says he's technical and composed on the ball at the back and a great organizer, but it's what he did at the other end, heading the ball home. And although Rubio Rubin will not get an assist, he almost deserves one, Jimmy, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be factored into the equation because he's the one that threw off the goalkeeper. Otherwise, it's a pretty easy save. You're a former goalkeeper. I was going to say current one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want you to keep the dream alive.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he did more than enough to throw him off, and that's why they scored. And so he's not going to be in the stat sheet, but I think you should probably buy him a hamburger or a hot dog. What do kids do these days? What are they?
Lollipop.
Lollipop. There we go.
Ensuing free kick headed away by the U.S.
Maybe it could just be a high five.
See if Turkey can get a follow-up chance out of it. And Evan Loro into the gloves, getting the opportunity to step in and show what he can do in goal here tonight, trying to spark the counterattack as he finds a streaking Corey Baird. Loro out of South River, New Jersey. Actually one of 5 players on this side for Wilmer Cabrera with ties to the New York Red Bulls Academy, led by former Adelphi University legend Bob Montgomery.
Just like I pointed out with the U.S. forwards earlier, it's going to be the same thing in the back with Evan Loro in goal, with this back 4, building a rapport. Right now, they've seen a little bit unsure. Is he coming off his line? Is he not coming off his line? Obviously, Paul Christensen has been the guy that's gotten a lot of caps for the U17s lately. He's very vocal. He seems to be the #1 guy for Wilmer Cabrera's staff. So it'll be interesting to see how Evan fits in and how he gets himself involved with the back 4. Right now, he hasn't had much to do, but when those times are called upon, he needs to come out and be certain of what his decision is going to be.
Kafai cutting it onto his left foot, looking for the window. Didn't put enough behind it, though, as it rolls softly into the gloves of Mehmet Bakirbaş.
Take a look here. Good idea, just couldn't get it off his foot. Unlike Kafai's getting a shot on goal. You know, the coaches have been telling him he was a captain over in Europe during their European trip, and he was a starter, guy they leaned on for a couple games in a row. DeAndre Robinson and Wesley Wade come in, are scoring goals, and they're like, well, he's producing. Right now you're not, so you're going to have to work your way back in. So it's good to see him go, get a shot off, be positive. Hopefully something good will come out of it.
Well, and this is an opportunity for him to make another impression on the coaching staff for the U.S. under-17s. Turkey with a little bit of confusion, trying to clear it out of their own defensive third. Able to earn a throw right in front of the U.S. bench. Mehmet Hagiolo, 52 years old, actually originally born in Bulgaria, and has made several stops in his coaching career, including a 4-year stint at Fenerbahce. Ruben. Not enough to get it through onto the feet of Flores. Shaheen couldn't hold the possession for Turkey. Echeverria stepping forward. Flores trying to play out wide. Ball just stays in, and now finally out for a throw here for Shaquille Moore. There is a Danya Kafai.
Right there, right there.
Flores somehow gets it through a number of bodies. It's going to be tough for the U.S. to keep the possession. A lot of red jerseys surrounding the ball, and Turkey comes away with it.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Turkey seemed to be settling in over the last couple of minutes after giving up the goal. Altantash, but the flag comes up against the Turkey striker.
It's better from Turkey. I think Shaheen, number 18's got to find his way into the game. He's their playmaker. He's their number 10. Hasn't had too many touches. They seem to be missing a lot of the simple passes. They really want to really put Evan Loro under pressure in goal for the U.S. We've got to find a way to just connect the simple passes, move forward, gain 10, 20 yards, put the U.S. under attack, under pressure, but just haven't been doing it consistently. And Coach Hagiolo is going to have something to talk about at halftime.
Good turn there at the feet of Kosa, but the ball rolls out in front of the Turkish bench. It'll be a throw here for Moore. This was about the point in time, though, Jimmy, against France. Similar situation. The U.S. had the lead. Their goal comes a little earlier in this game against Turkey, but this was about the time when France was able to gain the upper hand heading into halftime, and the U.S. ended up going 1-1 into half instead of what they should have had, a 1-0 lead. Or maybe 2-0 even.
Well, they just had a lapse in concentration in the back. It actually started all the way from the front, went through all three lines. And then Connor Donovan, Tyler Turner, everybody had shut off at the wrong time. And Michel Arrive from France walked in on 1v1 against Paul Christensen and slotted it. So for me, it was more disappointing in what happened, the whole buildup, and then the time of the half. You got to lock it down. You got 1-0, just get into halftime, and then you can readjust, make adjustments, and go from there. That's something, hopefully, that they're going to have talked about prior to this game. They can now apply it against Turkey. I mean, they're better at 16 than I probably ever was at any point in my career. So it's quite impressive to watch the Brazilians. They're always entertaining, always the team to beat, no matter what tournament, no matter what age group. So it'll be a great game on Sunday.
You know, we were teammates for a year down there at San Diego State, and I think you were pretty good.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying that I was pretty good. But some of the ball skills that those guys had, or have, are much better than anything I could ever possess in my skill set, my arsenal, if you will.
U.S. leading 1-0, attacking from left to right across your screen in the white kits. Tyler Turner's goal in the 19th minute, the difference right now. And fair to say, the U.S. have dominated possession in this one. There's been really no troubling chances in goal for Evan Lauro making the start tonight for Wilmer Cabrera. See if the U.S., in contrast to what happened on Wednesday night, can finish out this first half strong. Good hard tackle there, sliding in from Jorge Calix. And a late challenge there from Melija Yaja, the captain, will give the U.S. a free kick.
Yaja coming just a bit late, but great play by Calix. And really, that's just a microcosm of what the U.S. does very, very well, and that's put high pressure on the ball right after they lose it.
Flores lifts his chin, lofts it onto the back post. And in fact, hit the crossbar. And drifted out for a goal kick.
Take a look at this here. Right off the back post. I'm sure Herbert Flores would like that back.
Well, the thing about it is he probably actually hit it pretty decent, as you can see on the replay there, but that's that strong wind pushing that ball over the crossbar. Anything that's going to be floated up in front of the goal is going to float in that direction to the right side of the screen.
I love that you're giving him the benefit of the doubt. Give him an excuse. I love that. That's how high we rate him.
Good point. For more than 10 minutes to go till we hit the halftime break. And it looks like, as they did in their game against Brazil, Mehmet Hagiolo is going to make a change here in the first half. Umut Ince is standing in between the benches. And meanwhile, it looks like Flores might have taken a slight knock to the eye. Either way, it's going to be a chance for a free kick here for the red, white, and blue. U.S. will reset things. What kind of ball do you like here?
I like an in-swinger. Got to get it up over the wall. Got to get it past the first guy. Rubio Rubin again is in front of the goalkeeper. Just put it right in the mixer. Let you guys have a chance on it. Don't hit it high. Try to keep it. Hit the perfect ball is what I want, right? But you want to put it right in front of the goalkeeper and make him think. Can he get it? Can he not?
Well, maybe it comes on the secondary chance as Raquel Jr. gets it about 30 yards out from the Turkish goal.
Or they can do the exact opposite of what I just said.
The other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. You can play it to a guy up top and he can hit it over the crossbar.
Mahmutan Ajar, the Bukashpor left back here for Turkey. He's going to come out in the 36th minute of play. And as I mentioned, it'll be Umut Ince who will come in.
You have to think he's nursing an injury to come out that early. I mean, it's a straight swap, left back for left back. I feel like the U.S. is doing so well on the right side that you had to take him out.
Turner nodded away for just a moment. U.S. recover the possession right at the top of their own defensive third. Going route one to try and get it forward up top. Little push from behind as Anil Chapkun goes down, and that'll be a free kick here for Turkey.
The pace of the game has dropped dramatically since we first started the kickoff. Everybody's got those nerves. It's really dropped, and this is where the U.S. has to keep their concentration. They let that drop against France. They gave up a goal. They have to be disciplined. They have to make the right decisions on the ball. If that means kicking it out and doing whatever you have and regrouping and trying to pressure higher up the field, and that's what you have to do. But if they want to keep that lead, they have to be smart.
Right to the top of the 18. Headed away by Echeverria. Kosa trying to create a secondary chance here for Turkey. Dangerous ball, and Evan Lauro off of his line.
Great decision by Evan Lauro to come out and snuff that out. There was a player back post sneaking behind John Raquel. Good play by the U.S. goalkeeper.
There's Evan Lauro. Watched him train the other day when we arrived here in Lakewood Ranch area. He's got all the tools, as Wilmer Cabrera was quick to tell us. just as a matter of really putting them all together. He's got the size, 6'1", 195 at only 16 years old.
Right there.
Skill, presence inside the area. As I mentioned, one of a handful of guys here for Wilmer Cabrera with ties to the New York Red Bulls club. Loose ball inside the area. Is this that moment of lapse? Lauro with the big right hand as he paws it and grabs it on the second effort.
Another solid play by Evan Lauro coming out. Pawing, like you said, that cross.
Turkey starting to press now here against the U.S. Go back and look at that last chance. Big right hand here, the U.S. keeper in his first start of the tournament.
Yeah, Altintash does well here, causing a little bit of havoc for the back line. Puts in a dangerous cross. Evan Lauro's all over it. Gobbles it. Like a Thanksgiving dinner. Was that a terrible joke? That was terrible.
He'll be here in the Florida area all week, everybody.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
First time we get a real look at Lauro with his feet as he sends the goal kick forward. More now. Chance to switch things out to the other side, but the U.S. sticks with this right side. Wide here for Rubio Rubin. More. Flores asking for it. The two-footed challenge coming in from Yosef Shaheen, and we're going to see a straight red. Taking into the 40th minute, and Flores certainly took a knock, but I don't know that it was a straight red.
I just don't think he even needed to tackle that way. 2 feet up, the ball was already in between them, but he went for it anyway. Herbert Flores does well to draw the foul, keeps his foot in there. In hindsight, if I'm a U.S. fan, I want Herbert Flores to just jump and get out of the way.
Right.
But Shaheen already had the ball. He was already in position. So for him to come up, cleats up, from where the referee's standing, sees it from behind, I think it's a pretty easy decision based on what the referees are looking for. But he could have made a much different decision.
One more time, though. I mean, it's not reckless. Is it because of the spread, the scissors with the legs, and how he catches Flores that you think it's a straight red from our referee, Alan Chapman?
You know, the rule, or the way they're explaining it to players now, is if the cleats are showing on the bottom, then you're putting the opponent in a dangerous and a reckless situation. He showed both of them there. His issue, if any argument he would have, is I got there first. The ball was already there. I already had it. Then Herbert Flores kind of dragged his leg. So, you know, referee's discretion. He sees 2 feet up. It's a pretty easy red card these days.
And you can see Flores back up on his feet.
Yeah, it's pretty brave leaving his foot in there. Like I said, I would have been tough and left my leg in there, but I think for the benefit of him as a playmaker, we want him just to jump out of the way. And
you know, Jimmy, though, it almost brings up the discussion, though, in terms of differences of soccer culture. You know, in Turkey or even over in Europe, the standard of play or even the standard of officiating is completely different. It's Kafai with some good footwork in the corner, but he can't hang on to the possession. It's completely different than what you see in a day in and day out basis here in the U.S.
Well, that's the great thing about the academy, because the referees are part of this culture, right? We got the coaches, we got the players, we got the referees, all trying to get on the same page to develop this game in the right way. And I think this is an example of it. If the referees that are watching this game and critiquing the referees that are calling it think, hey, now that wasn't a red card, well, now we have something to build on. So these games are very important for that, and I'm glad the academy structure is in place just because of these kind of issues.
And in each case, really, coaches, officials, players, you know, the goal is through the academy to try and build so that you take that next step, whatever it may be.
I just love this collaboration, that everybody's working together for the benefit of U.S. soccer, for MLS, and for our young players. And Claudio Reyna in charge, Tab Ramos is involved. I mean, these are just great names and guys that are coaches that we want influencing our young people in this country.
Ince wins it back here for Turkey, trying to play it forward in the direction of Altintash. It's going to be even tougher now, though, for Mustafa Altintash to try and see any of the ball up top. Headed away by Bakir Bash at the back. And Turkey almost give it away, giving the U.S. a good look. 43rd minute of play. Make sure you stick with us during halftime, as Jimmy and I have just touched on the fact, talking about the developmental academies, and we'll take a deeper look inside of the U.S. Soccer developmental academies at halftime, plus highlights of the first half, along with some match analysis from my partner, Jimmy Conrad.
Based on the way Turkey's come out this game, their body language, they never really seemed like they wanted to win it. Now that they're down a man, losing one of their top players in Shaheen, it's going to be a tall order for them to find a way to get back in the game. So it's very important right now for the U.S. to stay disciplined, but continue to be aggressive when they're pressuring the ball. And I think they're going to find themselves having all 3 points when the final whistle's blown.
Flores appears to be moving just fine after the challenge into the space here. Baird, but the flag comes up. Quickly, Turkey put it back into play. 90 seconds left in regulation. Probably a minute or two of stoppage time to close out the first half. Connor Donovan, booming clearance from midfield to send it back and out for a goal kick here for Turkey.
Outside of a U.S. mistake, something in the back when they're trying to play out, the only way that Turkey's probably going to find themselves back and getting back into this game is on a set piece. So it's very important for the U.S. to be disciplined in their defending, work together, work in pairs, pressure the ball out wide, win the ball, and counter, because there's going to be a lot of good counter opportunities.
Baird, a little stop and go to try and create the space. And out for a throw here for the U.S. Actually looking down at my boards for the game, Jimmy, and Alan Chapman had not even handed out a yellow card to that point in the match. Ends up showing a straight red to Yusuf Shaheen in the 40th minute. So as you said, you would expect Omar Cabrera's side to have the lion's share of possession in the second half. Fourth official, Terry Vaughn, holding up the board. 1 minute of stoppage time. And we'll tick into it right now. Flores. Crafty on the ball, onto the back post. Did everything right to build it up, but no one made the run to follow it up. Requejo Jr. trying to keep it alive, and the ensuing cross will go out. The U.S. with their second corner in this opening 45 minutes. Turkey have yet to have one at the other end.
Another great opportunity created by Herbert Flores. His fingerprints are all over any kind of U.S. attack. He does have some special qualities, and I look forward to watching this player develop, not only through this tournament, but in the future.
Plays for McLean Youth Soccer out there in Virginia when he's not with the developmental academy team. Short corner here. See if Flores will get it back. He will. Trying to cut it back, and a chance for a counter in the closing seconds of the first half now for Turkey. Big switch, looking all the way across. And Turner will just clear it after the heavy touch there from Yildiz. Alan Chapman's whistle brings the first half to a close. The U.S. with a goal in the 19th minute by that man, Tyler Turner, a couple of saves by Evan Loro, and they will take a 1-0 lead to halftime. We continue our coverage when we come back here from Florida. Coming your way next week, Chelsea and Valencia. Tuesday, December the 6th, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live and in high definition. And then on Wednesday, Basel taking on Manchester United. Also to wrap up match day 6, that one 2 p.m. Eastern Time in high definition. We welcome you back to the Premier Sports Campus here in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, just about an hour south of Tampa, Florida, as the U.S. and Turkey get set for the second half. U.S. leading 1-0. Another change here coming for Mehmet Hajiolo, the coach of Turkey, as you just saw there. Berk Yildiz of Galatasaray going out to make way for the Fenerbahce youth product, Ramazan Civelek. And remember, Turkey playing down a man after Yusuf Şahin was shown a red card in the 40th minute of play. The teams have switched ends to open the second half. Turkey now attacking from left to right across your screen in the all red kits with white numbers, while the U.S. come out in white from head to toe with the dark numbers, and they defend the goal to Jimmy and my right. Jimmy Conrad, former U.S. national team center back and captain, alongside myself, Mark Rogandino, the rest of our Fox Soccer crew, Jeff Strauss, Eric Grossman holding it down out in the truck. Happy to have you along. Put your coach's hat on for a moment here, Jimmy, and channel a little bit of Wilmer Cabrera, if you will, with me. What would you imagine were some of his comments to his team going into this second half? We'll get that in just a moment. As Turkey creating a chance here. Open look from just about the penalty spot, but the U.S. able to come in and clear it. I mean, having the man advantage, you would think this is a chance for the U.S. to really put their stamp on the match early here in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you didn't want to see that play that just happened. Turkey breaking in on goal, but you've got to stay disciplined. Just have this. Wilmer Cabrera expressed to us, I don't know how many times in our meeting with him a few days ago.
Chance in front, almost look here, and it is, they equalize. Alton Tosh somehow gets the ball onto his left foot and sends it home to make it 1-1.
Good cross here. Good feet by Alton Tosh, gets it out of his way. Shaquille Moore's a little bit blinding the goalkeeper. Evan Lower didn't see it. Good quality finish with his left foot by the number 9, Alton Tosh. Good finish, back across. It's unfortunate for the U.S. This is the second game in a row now. They've given up a goal in the first 5 minutes or last 5 minutes of a half. It's like a coach's worst nightmare. So again, shows their lack of maturity. Maybe holding the lead is something they have to get out of their game if they want to have success in this tournament and the 2013 U17 World Cup.
For Mustafa Alton Tosh, the Bursaspor young player, is going to be a yellow card coming here in the 48th minute to Mert Öztürk.
So to sum up what I was going to say about Wilmer Cabrera, I'm pretty sure he didn't want to see that.
You know, you're channeling Wilmer Cabrera really well.
I think had a goal interrupted his thoughts. If he had his coaching hat on, that would be, we don't want to see that.
But you know, looking at that replay right there, as we take a look at the yellow card shown to Öztürk just a moment ago for the challenge here in the central part of the field, it looked sloppy, the defending. You know, there was a couple of chances. The ball came wide here for Turkey that they were able to somehow, through the second half sub, Gvalek able to get through, and then all of a sudden he gets onto the foot of Alton Tosh. He has space to actually face up inside the 18. U.S. with a look of their own at the other end.
Based on the way Turkey played in the first half, I didn't think they were going to get a shot on goal in the second half, being a man.
Alton Tosh might have another as he tries to bend that one to the far side. And he sends it a yard or two wide of the far post.
I mean, the team talk that Turkey got from head coach Hagiolo has made a difference. They've already come out with more energy. Their body language looks different, whereas the U.S. seems a little bit lackluster, like we got this under control, we're up a man, we're up a goal, the game's going to be easy. There's no game that's easy, so you can't just step on the field and just expect to win. You have to go out there and do the things that make that happen.
You know, you've played in so many games, and I've had the chance to broadcast a lot of games where a team loses a man, they're playing down a player, but yet sometimes that seems to be the team that takes advantage or plays the better soccer. Why is that?
Well, they've got nothing to lose, right? And that's a really easy way to play. It's a great mentality to have. If you lose 2-0, 3-0, well, there's already built an excuse. You were down a man, you were down a goal.
Sure.
We were just going for it. Whereas now the U.S. had everything to lose. They were up a man, but for me, it's just too casual. Everything was too casual. They weren't very sharp. They did the same thing against France. They came out first 25, 30 minutes, looked sharp, looked like they were the ones in charge, and they let France get back in the game. And here, inexplicably, they've let Turkey back into this when Turkey should have had no chance. The game should have been done, and I thought this was going to be a really good exercise for the U.S. in terms of how to hold on to a lead and how to manage that.
Rafai tries to dummy it to let it run out to the far side. The U.S. pick up the possession at midfield. Daniel Kafai one more time on the ball. Sends it into the space. Offside flag comes up against Rubio Rubin. Having said that, though, Jimmy, now this will be a good exercise for the U.S., right? Now that they've had things go level at 1 apiece, how do they respond?
Well, they should respond positively. They have a man advantage. They're going to have a lot more space. Herbert Flores is going to have a lot more ability to do what he does best, which is find the guys in front of him and make things happen. But they can't fall asleep in the back. And right now, it looks like Turkey's got a lot of the energy, and you can tell that the U.S. is a little bit down on themselves because they know they shouldn't have given up the goal in that situation.
Connor Donovan pushes it away, and his second effort clears it in. As you can see, a healthy crowd on hand here tonight at the Premier Sports Campus. Large number of youth teams converging here in the Lakewood Ranch area for the tournament that kicked off today. So part of the festivities for a lot of the young players that come here to Florida, an opportunity to see some of the best in their age group or in a couple age groups above them, wear the national team jerseys of the U.S., Turkey, Brazil, or France. Big switch out right here for Requejo Jr. Uses the help there of Calix. Looking for the entry pass, trying to zip it into the feet from Corey Baird. You'll continue to hear a little bit of wind from some of our field mics scattered around the field here at the Premier Sports Campus, although you can actually feel the wind has switched directions a little bit. Now completely at the back of Turkey. So a ball like this you'll see float a little deeper into the U.S.'s half here in this second half of play. Looking for the straight clearance. Anil Chapkun runs it down and plays it all the way back for Mehmet Bakirbaş, the goalkeeper.
I've always been amazed about how one play can change the complexion of a soccer game. So Turkey really had no sign of hope, and all of a sudden they get a goal, good goal by Altintaş, and now they look like the ones that are in charge, even though they're down a man. They're the ones that want to play. They're the ones that want the ball, and you never would have gotten that idea or impression from them in the first half. They were lackluster, they were tired, didn't look like they cared about being out there, and that was all the U.S. So it's interesting to see while one play can change the psychology of all the players on the field.
I mean, really, Jimmy, in that opening 45 minutes, I think Turkey probably 3 times ventured inside the 18 of the U.S., and each time it wasn't as if Evan Lara had to come up with a big-time save. The biggest save might have been what even officially wasn't a save, when he put his right hand up to field the cross. Injured player down, as you see at the center of your screen here for the U.S., Jorge Calix. Waiting for the U.S. training staff to come out and check on him, and it's actually our referee, Alan Chapman, will help him back up, and he immediately points to the right leg. And that is going to bring about the first change of the night here for the U.S. Angel Heredia steps up in between the benches, and just as he does, so does Wesley Wade.
Yeah, Heredia had a good, solid game against France a few days ago. Captained the side. So definitely a player that the team can rely on in these situations.
Follow up in the corner. Well struck, but the U.S. able to defend. So you have to, as Wesley Wade, who has had the equalizer in stoppage time, comes into the game, and he'll replace Rubio Rubin. Be interested to see actually how Wilmer Cabrera shifts things. I guess your early indication, based on what we saw against France, might be that Corey Baird shifts out wide.
And that's what's happened. Corey Baird's gone out right mid. Again, showing his versatility and being able to be a good player from a lot of different positions on the field. But a good performance by the U.S. wingers, Calix and Rubin. Both had a lot of influence on the U.S. attack. Maybe we'd like to see a few more crosses from him.
Sure.
But something to build on heading into the Brazil game.
Kafai touches it around a couple of Turkish players and then sends it for Wade. See if he can use his speed to get in behind the Turkish defense. Well played at the back there from Yaja, as well as Akul. As you said, though, Jimmy, whatever was in the tonic or in the speech from Mehmet Hajiolo, the coach for Turkey, it certainly has worked for his young team here in the second half. The energy, the commitment, the confidence looks completely different.
And like I said, you know, when you're down a guy, nothing to lose, it's really easy to play under those circumstances. When you're up a guy, it's different. You think, oh, I have an extra guy. That guy will do the job for me, or somebody else will take care of the responsibility. And so you're always kind of passing the buck. And you don't do it consciously, but you just think, oh, well, we have numbers. This will get sorted out. Somebody will solve it. I don't have to be the guy. And that ends up leading to a lot of gaps, which led to the first Turkey goal.
Baird battling to get it, and he wins it here for the U.S. Flores making himself available, and he'll get it onto his left foot. Now wide here for Moore. Is the U.S. able to back off the gas pedal for a moment? Flores too heavy on the pass, out of the reach of Heredia, who just came on. Turkey pushing forward. And running out of room there is Serdar Bingöl. And Wesley Wade just came on a moment ago, 6 goals in his last 6 appearances. He had 4 goals in 4 games and won the Golden Boot at the AGS Cup in Spain just about a month and a half ago with this U.S. under-17 side. He too is another one of those young New York Red Bull products, maybe following in the footsteps of Juan Agudelo, possibly.
That's a good sub by Wilmer Cabrera, bringing in some fresh legs, a little bit more speed up top than what Corey Baird has to offer. I think he's more of a back-to-goal guy, likes to create space when he gets the ball. But I think having that option is really going to keep Turkey maybe to drop their line a little bit more, which will end up creating a little bit more space for Herbert Flores to do his thing.
Well, and I would be interested to see if you agree. Do you think that might have been the one dimension that wasn't there in the first half for the U.S. was that speed element, trying to get in behind as Baird tries to push one through, and that'll come back to the Turkish goalkeeper, Bakirbaş.
It helps to have a little yin and yang up top, right? You want one guy that's good to back the goal and one guy that's good over the top, and that forces the defense to maybe not collapse on one or the other, make it your offense predictable. So I think Wesley Wade's a key player for this team, and I think he's a good sub. Somebody like him to bring off the bench, those kind of legs, and when the other team's tired. I just think it's a good overall sub, good decision, especially at this time of the game from Wilmer Cabrera.
Heredia back here for Tyler Turner. He had the goal in the first half to give the U.S. a 1-0 lead. Turkey, if you're just joining us, through Mustafa Altantash, has found the equalizer. Here come the Crescent Stars again. They don't have numbers attacking, but it hasn't seemed to bother them. And Evan Laurel has to go down to the ground to put a stop to that Turkey attack.
A great run by Kosu, slaloming through the U.S. defense. It all started from a loose pass from the U.S., got intercepted by Akul, and he fed a very determined Kosu. Very close Turkish second goal. The U.S. has got to be careful. They'd be a little bit more disciplined with the ball, a little more patient, and just take care.
There is that last streaking run. Almost the cone drill there. And he's going full speed, and the U.S. defenders are standing still.
Yeah, Tyler Turner did a good job of just shepherding him out wide right, making a pretty easy save for Evan Laurel, but still, it's something they should be concerned about.
Moore trying to swing it across as he had Wesley Wade wide open at the center of the 18. Ball doesn't get there. And another substitution coming here. Well, by the indications of these substitutions, I would say Wilmer Cabrera is going full force, going after the result. Why wouldn't he? Kafai is going to come out and make way for DeAndre Robinson, who had the opening goal against France a couple nights ago.
You have to go for the full 3 points if they want to have a chance to win this tournament. Obviously, you're going to have to get past Brazil on Sunday. You're going to have to get a result. But if you don't get the 3 points here, then that game is null and void, and you're just playing Brazil to play Brazil. So it would be nice to play against Brazil with something on it. I think that would be a good experience for our young players. But, you know, right now it's just not good enough. They're just not sharp. Turkey looks like the better team with 10 guys.
Well, speaking of the match against Brazil, that one comes your way on Sunday, 5 p.m. U.S. taking on Brazil. The teams played to a draw a year ago. Make sure you join us on Fox Soccer at 5 p.m. Eastern Time as we will wrap up our coverage of the Nike International Friendlies. Cross inside the area, numbers there for the U.S. And a glancing header from Flores, and there was some contact there with a couple of Turkish players, but it's out for a goal kick.
Good cross here from Shaquille Moore. Puts it in a dangerous area. Keeper stays on his line. Little Herbert Flores getting on the end of that. He's got it all in his bag, huh? Left foot, right foot, headers.
Drawing red cards.
That too. Those are intangibles. One of the unfortunate side effects of the U.S. giving up a goal to Turkey is now Turkey can sit back. They can get back into their block of 8, 4 midfielders, 4 defenders, and have to defend like they were doing in the first half. Prior to that, when they were down, if they really wanted to get a result, they were going to have to stretch it out. They're going to have to commit some more numbers forward, and that was going to allow the U.S., I think, to have some pretty easy counterattacks. Now that's gone. It's going to be interesting to see how the U.S. breaks down Turkey from here on out.
Well, that's my question. How do they exploit that tight block of defenders?
Well, they got to get the ball wide. Playing a lot up the middle. Last game against France, U.S. really used John Requejo and Shaquille Moore, their outside backs, to get involved in the attack.
Al-Tataj looking for a chance this time with his right foot for his second of the game, but the shot goes wide, but not before the offside flag had already come up against the Turkish striker.
Take a look there. Al-Tataj being dangerous. Definitely a tale of 2 halves for that guy, because in the first half, nothing.
Maybe 5 touches, 5, 6 touches maybe?
Got a couple tangles in the corner, got a cross off, but now he looks motivated. So I don't know what was in the tonic for at halftime for Turkey. I don't know. You say tonic, I'm thinking like they're drinking some special juice, but I don't know what was being told by Hagiolo, but they look determined, look motivated, and I think their team shape looks really, really good. They just seem to be a little bit more condensed, and that's creating problems for the U.S. attack.
You could probably bottle that and use it at your camps.
I'll have to talk to the Turkish Federation after the game.
Moore, great run down the right side, trying to use his speed to get in behind Turkey's back 4. Some contact, but no whistle from Alan Chapman. Al-Tataj looking to head it down in the direction of Öztürk. U.S. bringing numbers back. Öztürk dancing on the ball, but it's the U.S. that comes away with it. Heredia wide now here for Requejo Jr. Under pressure. See the U.S. slowing the pace, but really, I assume, Jimmy, more than anything, trying to draw Turkey out a little bit from that defensive shell.
Well, as you can see, we're hitting hopeful long balls. You know, I think there's still some space that they can exploit. Right now, Echeverria picks up the ball, and there's still 5 guys on the U.S. side that haven't shifted anybody on Turkey. They're just playing in front of the Turkish defense. That's not going to move anybody. They got to get the ball wide to create space in the middle, or they can go play the ball into the middle to create space wide. Either way, it's got to be played a little bit quicker. They're taking too long to make decisions, and that's really making it very easy for Turkey to defend.
Cahit Katipolo is going to come in here as he has moved up in between the benches for Turkey. Next stoppage in play should allow the Crescent Stars to make the change. goes against the U.S. Shaquille Moore battling for it over there.
Looked like the proper decision. Good solid call by Alan Chapman. But it is nice to hear the crowd getting into it, getting a little emotional, getting a little frustrated. Supporting their team, US U17 national team.
So here comes Jahid Katipolo. And Mert Öztürk is the player that goes to the bench for Turkey. Turner initially gets ahead to it. Follow up from Requejo Jr. Not out of danger yet, though, here for the Yanks. Looking for Altentosh, shields it down. Moore will just try and boom it out towards midfield. Robinson there, but he doesn't win it. U.S. and Turkey, second game of the Nike International Friendlies for both teams. At the Under-17 Nike International Friendlies here at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. Former U.S. national team center back Jimmy Conrad, Mark Rogandino, and the rest of the Fox Soccer crew. It is 1-1 with all to play for in the final 20-plus minutes of this one. Nice little exchange, a chance to get the winner maybe. And Robinson skies it over the crossbar.
Great back heel by Corey Baird. Good awareness. Good run in behind. And I like the movement off the ball by DeAndre Robinson. He knows what he wants to do. Finds himself in a good position. Maybe his eyes got a little too big. Skies it over the bar. Great opportunity for the U.S.
Altentosh trying to pull the strings here for Turkey. Good defending by the U.S. and the clearance from the goalkeeper, Evan Laro. Shaquille Moore. Echeverria. Baird plays it into the space. Robinson with the step and a chance to try and finish. Loose ball here for Flores. Back onto his right foot. He'll pull the trigger and up and over the bar once again. So the U.S. starting to get it going. Knocking on the door.
They added a little speed up top. DeAndre Robinson, Wesley Wade. Corey Baird again plays a good ball up over the top. It's unfortunate, but great play by Bekirbaş, the Turkish goalkeeper. Very smart off of his line. It's unfortunate Herbert Flores can do more with it second attempt.
And you see DeAndre Robinson looking over actually toward Wilmer Cabrera on the bench, who was making an indication, giving him a positive thumbs up on the movement from Robinson up top. I think that's that speed element that Turkey probably didn't see much of until both Wesley Wade and DeAndre Robinson checked into the game. If you're keeping track at home, Wilmer Cabrera has made 3 changes so far. And the same is true now for Turkey. Cabrera trying to balance that proposition we talked about in our first broadcast, Jimmy, of trying to get results, but also trying to prepare players for a future. Great exchange down the right side.
I think this is one of those games and one of those situations, though, you're going for the full result. I mean, it's about developing, and there's a lot of teaching moments in this game, especially as you give up a goal when you're a man up. But at some point, the U.S. is going to have to commit some numbers forward if they want to get the full 3 points and have a chance to win the tournament against Brazil on Sunday.
Robinson shifts over to defend. Now out wide. Laro will let that one run through and out for a goal kick here for the U.S. 70th minute of play, so 20 minutes remaining here in the second half. Turkey 1-0 losers against Brazil. The U.S. 2-2 draw against France 2 days ago. But a win here for the red, white, and blue could set up an unbelievable showdown to wrap up the tournament on Sunday. Shaquille Moore whistled for the challenge as he gets tangled up there with Ismail Kosa. Yellow card, first U.S. player booked on the night. As the Powder Springs, Georgia native Shaquille Moore shown the yellow here in the 71st minute.
Take a look here. Kosu and Moore have been battling it out all second half. It's been a great matchup. Kosu's actually got the better of him, I think, this half, but Shaquille Moore is one of our bright, promising players. I think he'll end up getting them at the end of the day.
Evan Lauro, the goalkeeper, directing traffic on the right side of your screen and well out off of his line. And that's where he pulls the ball in just outside his 6. Good positioning from the New Jersey native. And with that 6'1" big frame, had no trouble pulling it down amongst the traffic. All sorts of space here for Heredia, who came on here in the second half, trying to feed it forward for Wesley Wade. Pushed away, though, by the captain, Yaja. Flores, positive first touch, kicks it into another gear, trying to get to the end line. And a push from Anil Chapkun will give the U.S. a free kick about 35 yards out.
Good positive touch by Herbert Flores. Gets past, draws the foul. Just actually what the U.S. needed at this point. They needed to slow down the game a little bit. Turkey still has a bit of momentum from their goal scoring. Let's see what DeAndre Robinson can do here.
Robinson, and a wasted chance there.
Yeah, well, as a center back, and Connor Donovan's yelling at him. Listen, you run 60 yards, you just want a chance at maybe the ball. It's definitely a wasted opportunity in one of those plays where, as a teammate, if I was his teammate, I'd definitely give him an earful. And I just ran 60 yards to watch you kick it over the bar so I could run 60 yards back.
But I mean, almost even tough to tell. I don't think he was trying a direct shot right there. It was like he was trying to put a hard bend on the ball and he just completely mishit it.
Oh, there's no doubt he mishit it, but I'd still give him an earful.
Ball bounces out into the U.S. bench. Throw here for Turkey. Gibelek able to hold it and then get it off his feet. Moore steps in. Baird, Flores couldn't find the first touch to turn with it in the center circle. Bending ball out wide. Requejo Jr. just with a defender on his right shoulder has to just touch it out for a throw here for Turkey.
Somehow, some way, Turkey's found themselves in the better position than the U.S. right now. They're playing with nothing to lose. They've got all the energy. And they, at some point, I mean, the U.S. is going to have to counter. They're going to have to commit numbers to win this game. And that's going to make the U.S. vulnerable in the back. And Elton Tosh has been all over our center back. So I think Turkey's, with 15 minutes to go, has a good chance to maybe steal something here.
Flores, Cruyff movement, pulling it back onto his left foot. Angel Heredia. Robinson, little trouble, surrounded by 3 red jerseys, and Turkey consequently come away with it. Hirbash with the booming clearance, wind at his back, sends it even further. Connor Donovan to head it free. Flores brings it down. Plenty of space here for Corey Baird. Moore, here's what you're talking about, Jimmy. Get the ball out wide, use all the space out wide. Sloppy over there in the corner. Finally, it pops loose for Flores. Diagonal ball, tried to feed it in for Wesley Wade. And contact there from Wesley Wade at Uma Inje.
Good look by Herbert Flores, but good defending. Gets himself in a good position. Wesley Wade. Not much you can do there. I like it, he's aggressive. But better patient build-up from the U.S. the last minute or two. Things are going to open up. They just need to keep the ball moving, keep their off-the-ball movement going. There's going to be gaps. They're going to get a few chances, but they look unsure of themselves, which is incredible to me given the situation. And again, shows that they lack a little bit of maturity when they have a lead and how to manage different situations, and that's something that Wilmer Cabrera has talked to us about. But I'd like to think that we have the guys to win this game.
Flores forward. Entry pass. Robinson onto his left foot. Robinson just wide.
That was one of the chances I was talking about, Mark. Better sequence from the U.S. Good ball across. What I really like about Robinson is right when he gets the ball, he knows exactly what he's going to do. He's not looking to pass. He's not looking to hold it up or give it to somebody else. He's trying to find a way to shoot. And I have a lot of respect for that kind of mentality in and around goal.
Well, Wilmer Cabrera told us in our sit-down with him earlier this week that DeAndre Robinson, playing his club soccer for the Concord Fire out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, always, as you just said, looking to score, great speed, good work ethic. But that typical goal scorer's mentality, I'm going to get mine. Baird. Here is Robinson again. Baird with the follow-up touch, cleared away. Altintash, the lone forward up top now for Turkey, working 1 against 4, 1 against 3. The U.S. win it back. Heredia out wide. The U.S. with some numbers. Flores trying to work himself toward the end line, and in the end, it will work out for a corner here for the U.S.
Again, one play I feel like has made the difference. The U.S. last 2 or 3 minutes all over Turkey, led by DeAndre Robinson, getting some shots off, being dangerous. I feel you can at least sense while we're sitting here in the cold and windy weather that the U.S. is going to get something out of this.
Heredia with the entry ball there. Cuts it back onto his right foot, recycling the runs. The U.S. headed away, though. Maybe one more chance, but Angel Heredia will let it roll out. Good defending there from Mehdi Akgul, the Fenerbahce center back. Long throw here from Shaquille Moore. Flores with the bike, and it'll go just wide of the near post.
That's the same spot they scored against France. Last play of the game to tie it up, Wesley Wade. Here we can take a look. Good long throwing from Shaquille Moore. Good bit of skill from Herbert Flores, which we've come to expect.
Sure.
Just a little unfortunate not to put that on frame.
This cycle of under 17s playing their 9th game under Wilmer Cabrera, the Colombian head coach for the U.S. under 17s. In their previous 8, they have only lost 2. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 3 draws, if you include the match against France 2 days ago. So really, for Wilmer Cabrera, huge opportunity here in this one, with a little more than 10 minutes left here in the second half. Baird will battle for the ball, gets any piece of his body on it he can. Turkey with the clearance, Turner there. Requejo, little touch forward, some numbers here for Turkey. Echeverria trying to slow the attack. Heredia comes back. Forward for Robinson, but a really tough ball for him to handle. Quickly into the space, Flores, can he keep it? Cutting back into the space now for Robinson. He's onside. Robinson, the big save. But Kirbash comes to the rescue with a massive save for Turkey. You said the game was going to open up, and it certainly has. Turkey coming back in the other direction. Turner, sliding challenge to clear the ball away. Moore will just boom it out to midfield. Robinson, Jimmy, has had 2 quality looks to beat the goalkeeper, Mehmet Akirbaş. And on that last one, it was a great save.
The coach has told us he's a difference maker. He comes on and he changes games. We've seen evidence of that. Now he's got to get it, hit the back of the net, gets himself in a good position. Maybe he made his decision a little bit too early, put his head down, didn't take a look with the goalie, and made a decision where he was going to go. I think he could have dribbled around him, but that's sitting up here, and the game looks pretty easy, Mark.
Let's take a look at it once again, see if you can pick out exactly what the goalie does.
A great play, again, by Herbert Flores. Stays on his feet.
You're right. If he drags us across to his left foot.
Then it's a tap in. He's celebrating in the corner.
Wide here for Wade. Tries to run right at the left back, Umarinje. Remember, 40th minute of play, Yusuf Şahin of Turkey was shown a straight red card for a tackle on Herbert Flores. So Turkey continued to play down a man, but despite that, they were able to get a goal just a couple of minutes in to the second half through Mustafa Altintaş. And that is where we stand. No question that Mehmet Hagiolo's team has been very good here in the second half. Here's a look, in fact, back at that 40th minute red card. It's up for debate, I would say.
Yeah, upon further review, I don't know if that's a red card. He got there first, and then Herbert Flores dragged his foot in there. But given the rules, given the way they're trying to crack down on those kind of reckless tackles, I can understand why the red card was shown. Here with a little bit of a letdown from the injury. It's a good opportunity for Wilmer Cabrera. He pulled over a couple people, a couple of his players, talk a little bit about tactics. I'd assume, when are we going to start pressing? When are they going to start getting guys forward, trying to commit themselves, maybe leaving themselves vulnerable at the back to get that second goal, to get this much needed win if they want to win this tournament.
Another change coming here for Turkey. Ismail Kosa will go out, and Aziz Ceylan, another Fenerbahce player, will come in here for Turkey. A little too much of a tussle there from Wesley Wade. And as you might imagine, at least I would expect the Turkish players, even at this age, knowing that once they go to ground, take every possible second off the clock they can.
Since France tied Brazil earlier, a tie isn't the worst thing here for the U.S. It still gives them a chance mathematically. They'd have to beat Brazil straight up. But beating Brazil in any kind of competition, like I mentioned earlier, is a tall order.
The U.S. with some space to try and counter here as Turkey scrambling to get numbers back behind the ball. Moore. Baird. It's a couple times now here in the last 10 minutes or so where Corey Baird has just given the ball away right there in the middle part of the park, and it's leading to chances like this for Turkey. Good step in, though, for the U.S. to win it right back. Flores driving himself right at the heart of the Turkish defense, and he runs right into the defense itself. U.S. will pick up the throw here. I mean, Jimmy, I guess, you know, at this point too, you know, for this young team of U.S. players, it's about them still showing a bit of patience and knowing, you know, they have 6+ minutes on the clock to be able to grind out and find that game winner.
There's plenty of time to do it. You can tell Turkey's getting a little bit tired. They're trying to waste time, but there still seems to be something lacking from the U.S. attack. They seem to have a little bit more belief than they did 20 minutes ago. But
yes,
do they have that final piece, that final pass, to put it in the back of the Turkey net?
All the way for Rakeho on the back post. Tried to get a touch to it.
They're going to have to commit numbers. Can Shaquille Moore get up there? Not only with throw-ins, can he get crosses? We already saw one there. Rakeho's on the end of it. So we already know that the outside backs are getting involved, which I'm sure was a directive from head coach Wilmer Cabrera. Now they just have to be patient in the back, be more disciplined, make sure Echeverria, who plays defensive mid, protects those other guys, and that Altintaş can't get the ball in a dangerous area. There's a lot to think about, and these are good teaching moments for these guys in this phase of their career.
Good early pass from Flores. Baird cutting onto his left foot. And he runs right into Yaja, the captain at the back there for Turkey. Immediately back in the other direction for Ceylan. Just about 85 minutes of soccer behind us here at the Premier Sports Campus. You could hear a moment ago the chants of USA starting to ring out around the field. Shirt tug from Injay will give the U.S. a free kick right back at their own end. A lot of time there coming off the clock, and then Loro sends it all the way across here for Tyler Turner. He is able to run it down. Long ball forward looking for DeAndre Robinson. Back into the space on the return pass from Angel Heredia. Robinson has the speed to get by the Turkish defense. Sends it across, deflected on the way, off of the crossbar. And the U.S. will get their second corner here in the second half, fourth of the game.
Another good play by DeAndre Robinson. Two guys on him. Has Wesley Wade one-on-one. The box tries to put it in there. Good defense by Turkey. Good, simple, safe play.
Ball just floated. Yeah, ball just floated and gave the goalkeeper, the Kirbash, some trouble. Ensuing chance. U.S. don't get much out of it. Requejo Jr. Square into the feet of Moore. Long switch over the top, looking for Tyler Turner. Back the other way comes Turkey. Foot race to get to it. Jaylan has the inside track. He'll cut it back against Shaquille Moore. Ensuing ball inside. Laro comes out. And a brave save there from the young goalkeeper amongst the traffic.
Great counterattack from Turkey. From the top of their box to the top of the U.S. box. Good decisions. Good display from them. Unlucky not to get on the end of that. Good save by Evan Loro.
All the way back here for the aforementioned Loro. Reset button here for the U.S. They saved it for late in stoppage time.
Take a look. Very brave save by number 18.
Flores. Great skill. Opens up the space. Now out wide here. Attacking chance. Pushed away. Wesley Wade trying to head it down! The man of the match, Flores, strikes as the U.S. go in front.
Sometimes highlights don't do it justice, but here, good ball by Shaquille Moore. Good awareness and layoff by Wesley Wade. Classy finish to the side netting by our man of the match, easy man of the match, Herbert Flores. The great part about this whole play was that he started at midfield. Got some ball under pressure, had a good cut. He's the one that led the break, ended up finishing it. Great play by one of our great young players in our system.
We have tilted him as that crafty catalyst in the midfield for Wilmer Cabrera. And he showed exactly that right there. I think what you just said, great turn in the midfield, his movement to pull it back, let the defender fly by, and he starts that whole movement going forward and finishes it off too.
He pulls one of the center backs out of position, which ends up creating that gap for him to run in towards where he scored the goal. So without that movement, without him cutting at midfield, that whole play, the whole sequence wouldn't have happened.
Not quite as late as they saved it for into stoppage time for Wesley Wade to equalize against France. But 88th minutes, Herbert Flores out of Manassas Park, Virginia, comes up with what could be the game winner. Flores now being attended to by the U.S. training staff.
I think if anything we've learned about this U.S. team is they're resilient. And they never say die, and I think those are attached to most of our teams, right? That's part of our culture here in America, no matter what sport. We never say die, we never give up. And this U17 team has proven they got that same kind of characteristic.
But Jimmy, what is so amazing, though, is it goes back as Christopher Lima is going to come in here to replace Flores for the last couple minutes and into stoppage time. It goes back to what you were talking about, what Wilmer Cabrera said. Why is it that the U.S. plays better when they're either behind or, in this case, tied, and they can't play, not can't, but they don't often play that way when they're leading?
He says it's a cultural thing, and it's hard to disagree with him. There's less pressure, as we evidenced with Turkey, that when you're down a man, you got nothing to lose. You're carefree. The game's easier. You just take the pressure off yourself. When you're in charge, when you're supposed to win, when you have the lead, it's harder to maintain that kind of performance, and especially when the other team that you're playing against has nothing to lose. So, I mean, there's a lot of a lot of different components to it, a lot of psychological components to it, and that's what else these guys are going to be evaluated on. So the Academy thing's a great system. Wilmer Cabrera's the right guy, and it's really exciting to see this whole thing come together.
As you've seen the 90 minutes come and go here tonight, and now 3 minutes of stoppage time before this one will end. Lima keeps it in on the far side, out for a throw here for the U.S. They can slow things to a walking pace. Remember, Sunday, our coverage here on Fox Soccer of the 2011 Nike International Friendlies from Florida will wrap up at 5 p.m. Eastern Time with the U.S. facing off against Brazil. And if all holds up over the next 2 minutes or so, both teams will have identical records heading into that game. A win and a draw so far. Couldn't ask for more on a Sunday final match to have it all up for grabs. Heredia comes away with it. Echeverria goes down to the turf, but the U.S. play through it. Corey Baird back in here for Wesley Wade, and the flag goes up. Wade just about a half step in too early.
I appreciate and understand that these guys want to score another goal, but with the way the game's going, you already have the lead. I think it'd have been in the best interest for the whole team, the U.S. team, to take that ball in the corner and kill the game. Kill another minute. Try to get another throw in. Let the game die out. You've got the win. You know what you have to do on Sunday. Finish it up.
Lima. Wide for Moore. Here's that same case again, where you run forward, just hang on to the possession. No, as a push in the back will give Turkey a chance to come back the other way. Turner heads it loose for a moment. Bengal dancing on it, waits for some help. Entry ball cleared away again. I know Tyler Turner had the goal to opening scoring in the first half, but he's played very solid at the back tonight, along with Connor Donovan. Lauro can take his time. Let's give credit to Evan Lauro too. He's had to make a couple of saves here in the second half, more positionally than anything. And an opportunity for him to show what he could do as he got the start instead of Paul Christensen. It'll be interesting to see which direction Wilmer Cabrera goes on Sunday.
And that's something Wilmer Cabrera might ask his back four. The back four has played in both games. They built a relationship and a trust with one of the goalkeepers. We'll see what happens.
Alan Chapman with the final whistle, and the U.S. will come away 2-1 winners. Might not have been the prettiest, Jimmy, here in the second half, but nonetheless, it gets the job done heading to Sunday.
It gets the job done. Now they're tied with Brazil, heading into a big game, a championship game, if you will. And for me, there's a lot of learning moments, a lot of teaching moments of Wilmer Cabrera, despite getting the win, can go back and say, listen, this wasn't good, this wasn't good, this was very good. And overall, a great result for the U.S. Disappointing for Turkey as they're the reigning champions, but good game, a little slow at times, but I enjoyed it.
Let's take a look at some of the good. We go back with our match recap here, and we'll pick it up in the first half. 19th minute of play.
A great ball by Herbert Flores. Gets himself in a good spot. Tyler Turner gets up, heads it down. Got to give a little tip of the hat to Rubio. Ruben gets involved in front of the goalkeeper to make all the difference.
40th minute, the hard challenge coming in from Yosef Shaheen against Flores, and that's a straight red card from our referee, Alan Chapman. But moments into the second half, Altentosh with the equalizer.
A great finish by Altentosh. He knew that the near post was blocked by Shaquille Moore. Hits the ball across his body. Great finish.
And that led to this movement late in the match, coming in the 88th minute. Watch the play here from Wesley Wade. Nods it down, and Flores dips it into the lower corner. It's the first goal of the competition for Junior Herbert Flores, and it comes as a game winner. So here's how the table looks heading to Sunday. I said it, identical records for Brazil and the U.S., both teams with 4 points. So it sets up for those two teams to battle to see who will come away as the 2011 Nike International Friendlies champion. That's going to do it for our coverage here. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I know Jimmy Conrad and I certainly did. We expect to see you right back here on Fox Soccer with us on Sunday for the quote-unquote championship. On behalf of Jimmy Conrad, Jeff Strauss, your director, Eric Grossman, your producer. My name is Mark Rogandino. We'll see you Sunday. A championship on the line.